operations.
We have the conditions in this country that we're going to produce mass shootings. Like the things that Felix talked about, that sense of alienation, full alienation, young males who are, before they have hit puberty, have lost any hope that they can participate in anything
and
about
like have
themselves.
a girlfriend.
Have a girlfriend, even. Be able to build anything. They are alone forever. And that, when you have testosterone plus that amount of critical alienation and more guns than any other country in the world per capita, people are going to get popped off. And we don't have a war to send them to because we've privatized war. And we now just draft the people who are the poorest and most desperate. Meanwhile, those kids who are sitting at home are having that same need to like vent and create meaning through bloodshed, and they're going to do it. But it's also in the interests. There's no way to argue against this fact that it's in the interest of these institutions, the fucking FBI, the NSA, and the political system that they're outgrowth of for this stuff to keep happening. Everyone that they thwart is a feather in someone's cap, gets them a promotion, gets them more budget. And everyone they don't stop is a justification for them to turn the cranks even harder.
And if you think this has any bearing, like who is president, who controls the House, who controls the Senate, it doesn't. Because if it's Republicans, you can do this to young Muslim men. If you're a Democrat now, you could say like, oh, there was going to be a right-wing attack.
Yep.
And just the same, it'll be an alienated guy who's never had a fucking girlfriend, never like really had a friend.
And they come in all colors. America just makes these people now.
Yeah. It's the only thing we make anymore.
Yes.
And I think like the common denominator to all these things is like there is nothing on earth, if like in terms of like killing a shitload of innocent American civilians, there is nothing on earth more dangerous than like an FBI asset.
Oh my God.
Which would mean that actually there's nothing more dangerous to your life and security than the FBI themselves. Like they are the ones who are plotting, and literally not just plotting to stop them or entrap people, but like literally plotting in the hopes that they will carry out a mass casualty attack on American lives.
They can thwart it, and good. Everyone gets a promotion. They can fail to thwart it, and good. It's more fear. It's more chum in the bucket. Either way, they don't have to worry. There's no negative. So they're not really incentivized to always do their best to make sure that they get in there before it happens.
And again, like as you said, Matt, like certainly in America, like I don't think you can assume that all of them are like some like Gladio style FBI operation, but like I mean, if you look at like the more you look into like most of these things, and again, I'd totally forgotten about that Draw Muhammad contest. You know, like it just fades into the background. That like the FBI is not just aware of the individuals behind the trigger, but like are actively like communicating with them, cultivating them as an asset before they do these like terrible killings. And it's whether it's like the Stephen Paddock thing or just like these increasing number of like terrifying mass casualty events that just absolutely baffle all reason. The Pulse nightclub shooting, like all this shit. It sort of goes back to like our last episode when we were talking about like this UFO like limited hangout shit, where it's just like it doesn't like. Part of the point of it is that people are like, this doesn't make sense. And like the thing is, like I think what they're like what is sort of going on here, whether it's like UFOs or these like inexplicable acts of like, you know, horror and atrocity, is I think like it creates like a destabilization of like metaphysically, existentially, like what you think is real and possible.
Yes.
And it's creating like this very unstable feeling of like, so like questioning like the official story or narrative, like it doesn't really matter. Like that's actually good for them. They just want to create this intense sense of like destabilization and fear in the minds of everyone. And the idea that like you can't trust or know anything ever.
I also think that even if you don't believe that, even if you don't think that they're sitting in a room underneath the Pentagon, like how do we destabilize? I think that you can think of it this way then, is that they do all these things not as a direct ordering, I don't think. It's not like, okay, we're going to have a mass shooting here for X cause, and we're going to use these guys. What they do is what the deep state has done ever since at the dawn of the American Empire after World War II, and what defined the Gladio operations. It was not some top-down bureaucratic operation. It was the United States government providing funding and protection for local criminal elements to do what they were going to do anyway.
Right.
And whatever they did, they knew would be to America's benefit. And the thing is, these are like one FBI agent might be setting up some poor mentally disabled Muslim kid because he really wants to get he wants to be the next special agent in charge of like the Sacramento office, and like he knows that if he gets a fucking scalp, he'll get it. But somebody else might be doing it because like they're cultivating a fucking whole network of right-wing psychos because like, oh, we got to know what they're doing, and also what they're doing helps us. And everybody's individual incentives within this structure resonate to create this sense of unreality that is also to the ultimate benefit of the system. So there's nothing to intervene with it and prevent it from happening.
The point of this, right, isn't that everything you see is literally pre-planned and scripted and like specifically designed to make you insane or to make you subservient. It's that everything is set up in a way that it benefits them and does not benefit
incentive
you.
Structures.
Yes.
It's about incentive structures throughout a system. All these systems, when we live in the United States, we're at the global headquarters of this global capitalist system that is heaving its last, that is in terminal crisis. And everyone within this system, in private sector, in public sector, regular schmucks like you and me, people in these agencies, whether or not they know about Moloch, whether or not they just think they're working in a bureaucracy, or they know what they actually are working for, like they've seen into the eyes of the fucking the Illuminati pyramid, all of them are incentivized in the direction towards self-interest, and that magnet pulls all those iron filings in one direction, and it is towards more control, the remedying of social conditions that are social crises that are caused by our underlying conditions, coming in the form of not in ameliorating them, because you can't, because the system creates them, but by punishing outliers. Oh, we're creating this mass of alienated people who are prone to antisocial behavior and violence. What are we going to do about it? Well, we're going to smash them with a fucking hammer.
But also, like in the general population, just create a feeling of just like of the boredom and loneliness that we're talking about being punctuated by these media frame, like seeing on TV the punctuation of another terrifying act of mass murder.
No, it's like you're sitting alone in your head, because that's where you live. You don't really have you don't have anything like a social existence of most generations of humans to ever exist before you. What you do have is a media landscape that makes up the world for you. And if it's just people snapping and killing people, and like this awful smug monoculture, that's the happy face monoculture that says, actually, this is all good, and if there's any problems about it, you need to drink more water. This like psychotic optimism that's covering this obvious fraudulence, nihilism becomes very attractive.